Okay, Sunday, 16th of August, 2026. So Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know, esoteric knowledge, and 0.00001% questions. Now, this is something I kind of realised instinctively a couple of years ago, 7, 8, 10 years ago, that we need to be asking, all kinds of complex, deep questions. And there was an interesting idea that said that our life is in direct correlation. The quality of life we have is in direct correlation to the complexity and difficulty of the questions we ask. So it got me thinking very recently that we need to be delving deep into esoteric kind of questions, not so much in the idea of occult and whatever else, but technical, jargon, specific, exact, technical and precise kind of questions, to the point where we're asking the kind of questions that the 0.00001% of people in any kind of industry will be asking in order to find the real deep truths, peeling back the layers of reality, finding the truth behind ideas and concepts and observations and whatever else. Understanding, having an observation, something that inspires questioning and digging deep to the point where you're looking at the meta patterns, the meta opportunities, the meta dangers, the meta theory of mind, the psychology behind these things, the laws of physics behind this idea, this concept, the laws of biology or laws of chemistry behind these ideas, why this happens, why that happens, why it doesn't happen, the inverse, root cause analysis, chaos theory or game theory behind all these actions and decisions, or looking at the anthropology behind being contrarian by nature, things like that. Understanding the world at a very deep level and layer, so as to be able to map out reality accurately. Very important. Because remember, you want to have time and the laws of physics on your side with regard to what you do and don't do in the world. And the more esoteric knowledge you have, more technical, specific, exact, scientific and mathematical understanding of reality, of the world, of the world we live in, the more of that deep understanding you have, the more you can act with confidence, with pride you could say, but with confidence with regards to what the psychology is behind these things. You understand things deeper and at a more structured level. You understand the architecture behind things to come to deeper conclusions and strategize for the future better, but also at a compounding way, your mental model of how things work, as in your theory of mind, your structure, the way you structure reality, is close to reality, so you can come to better conclusions. As in, when there's a mismatch, when something doesn't go according to the model, you update it. For example, if you go out into the world here and you're looking at the wrong side of the road when you cross the road, if you're looking right when you cross the road first as opposed to left, you get in trouble. You get hit by a car. Let's be blunt about it. So those are the kind of things we've been dealing with. Very important. And we need to be digging deep, and we can do this with AI really, with regards to understanding things at a deeper level, the meta pattern at play, the physics at play, understand the psychology, anthropology at play behind the scenes at a deep level. Again, peel back the layers of reality, find the core answers, and there's methods out there to do these things, to understand the world better. For example, recently someone talked about non-verbal communication in Spanish. So that's an interesting unification of anthropology, psychology, and language. You could say Sapir-Whorf theory with regards to how languages affect how we behave, how we think, how we act, how we talk, things like that. So that's even deeper level of reality, studying and going into with regards to non-verbal communication in Spanish. So yes, there's no limit to how much you need. The key with there is need to understand the world, because what we don't want is having outdated mental models. Or really, that's to say, the information we have was accurate 15 years ago, but as technology, trends, markets, the world changes, upgrades, updates itself, you name it, to what extent are you keeping abreast with changes? Because over time, this is the rule of 72 in finance, over time, in say 15 or so years, your mental model will be outdated. And in the same way to say, your business model uses yellow pages as opposed to internet. That would have worked in, say, 1995, but in 2026, that business model is outdated. There are things that are just better, faster, quicker, cheaper, more scalable than using physical books than like in the 90s. Things like that. And this kind of also gives credence to that meme of OK Boomer, because that is a generational expression and a witness to ideas that would have worked, say, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago, that are clashing with reality on the ground, what people are experiencing in the workforce, let's say. And that it creates a mismatch, meaning the mental models are out of date just by time. And just how today, what works today in terms of business, or attitudes, or finance, or priorities and values will be outdated in 30 years, easily in 30 years from now. But it'll be at a slow pace. It'll be over time, just this idea disappears, this idea is outdated, this idea is redundant, this idea is pointless, things like that. But the core principles, the 0.00001 questions, and the laws of physics and laws of science and anthropology, and you name it, the laws of biology, the meta theory of mind, the meta psychology at play, those things are timeless. Those things are equally as applicable today as they will be in 100 years from now or 1,000 years from now. Meaning 2 plus 2 will be 4 today, tomorrow, and 100 years and 1,000 years from now. The laws of gravity, the laws of biology, the laws of physics, the laws of arguably the laws of anthropology, the laws of finance will be applicable in the future just as they are today. And we need to understand those things at a deep technical level, staying ahead at a deeper level, staying ahead of the competition, so as not to be outdated or redundant or sidelined because we have knowledge that was cutting edge 30 years ago instead of cutting edge now, and understanding things into the future, the principles of the world, of life, of business and beyond. This is very important because we need to be at the cutting edge. I did some videos about this. Be at the cutting edge, be at the zeitgeist, in the knowledge, in world, in reality, in the sciences, and the psychology and beyond, to understand people and places in the world. Because fundamentally you don't want them to be left behind. You do not want outdated models that you think work, because it's going to lead to wasting time at best. Hopefully you waste your time, and it's going to lead to disaster at worst. Disaster of money, time, effort, business, you name it. Oof, we don't want that. Very important. Yeah. And I say 0.00001% kind of questions because those are the kind of questions that very, very few people are asking, and they're kind of technical and detailed enough to be distinctive from, say, what the 1% or the top 10% of people are asking. We need to be very, very specific and detailed and technical so as to have a strong, definite advantage in business and life. So I'm going to look into non-verbal communication in Spanish at a 0.00001% kind of way, as in the 0.00001% kind of people will be asking, thinking and strategizing about, so as to have a very strong understanding of reality, or in this case, understanding of society and how people act and behave and think and beyond. Very important. Very, very important. Important beyond belief. Yeah. But otherwise, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Subscribe for more, and you will see me tomorrow.